Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of incredible sources and extract the most potent nuggets of knowledge, insights, and maybe a few surprising facts to make you well-informed. Today, we're diving headfirst into a world where the very fabric of reality is, well, negotiable. Have you ever wondered if the mundane routines of your life are just a facade? What if there's a hidden organization, shrouded in mystery, pulling the strings, maybe even influencing your very perception of time and truth?
That's exactly what we're exploring today. Our sources, they aren't presented as just fiction, They read more like a meticulously compiled, almost bureaucratic manual of detection from a really shadowy organization known only as the agency. It feels less like a novel, more like leaked documents.
Right. And our guide through this labyrinth of intrigue is Charles Unwin, a meticulous clerk whose life is about to be spectacularly upended. He gets thrust into this world where dreams are monitored, entire days are apparently stolen, and absolutely nothing is as solid as it seems. Our mission, dear listener, is to pull out the key insights from Unwin's bewildering journey and try to understand what it truly means to be well-informed when truth itself is, well, slippery, maybe even manufactured.
We'll follow Unwin as he peels back layers of deception within his own organization. He starts challenging his understanding of legendary cases, confronts the architects of this surreal reality, eventually. Get ready for an exploration of memory, surveillance, and that delicate balance between order and chaos. All seen through the eyes of this guy forced to question absolutely everything he thought he knew.
Okay, so let's start our deep dive with Charles Unwin. Creature of habit, agency clerk. Meticulously documents solutions, not mysteries. His life is just this predictable rhythm of paperwork and routine. But even the most diligent clerk has secrets, right? Personal deviations. Unwin's hidden ritual. He secretly watches a woman in a plaid coat at Central Terminal every morning. He's drawn to her quiet beauty, her solitude. She's a mystery. And that mystery is apparently enough to keep him rooted in a city he'd almost left. It's a pivotal detail.
It really is a crucial starting point. Unwin's secret observations, they aren't just a quirk. The sources really highlighted as foundational for him. He'd actually bought a train ticket to leave town. But the silent, persistent mystery of this woman, it just stopped him. It shows how something deeply personal, a quiet, unfiled mystery, can anchor even the most regimented life. Keep you from making a clean break.
And then bang! The rug is just pulled out from under him. Unwin is suddenly promoted. Inexplicably, to detective a role he's completely convinced is a massive error. He's thrown into the office of this recently deceased watcher, Edward Lamech, and told to investigate Lamech's murder. And right there, he finds a mysterious phonograph record, a highly sensitive watcher-class file.
Which is usually reserved for the agency's elite. The dream monitoring agents, not for a promoted clerk.
Exactly. And he also meets Emily Doppel, his new assistant, who openly admits to unpredictable bouts of deep sleep.
Okay, what's the deal with these specific kind of unsettling things popping up right at the start of his new job?
It immediately screams deliberate manipulation, doesn't it? Unwin is a clerk of solutions, not mysteries. He's technically ill-suited for detection, which suggests his promotion isn't about skill, it's about placement, putting him somewhere specific. And that unlogged, most suspect phonograph record, there's a cryptic note with it too, saying, if you want my advice, you'll let sleeping corpses lie. It directly links Lamech's death to deeper, unrevealed agency secrets right from the get-go. And Emily's deep sleep.
Yeah, that definitely hints at something bigger happening too. It's not just random narcolepsy.
So Unwin's first steps as a detective are just pure disorientation. He visits the Municipal Museum. He meets Edwin Moore, the supposed author of the Manual of Detection, the agency's Bible, and Moore drops a bombshell. The museum's big exhibit, the oldest murdered man, this famous mummy.
Yeah.
It's a fake. It's actually Caligari's body.
What? Caligari, from the carnival?
Apparently, and if that wasn't enough, Moore then just dismisses his own manual as rubbish. Says he wrote it as a clerk, not even a detective. What kind of rabbit hole has Unwin fallen into here?
This is precisely where the bedrock of Unwin's reality and, honestly, our understanding, too, just starts to crack. The actual source material for detection, the guiding principles for the whole agency, basically disavowed by its own creator, and more explicitly states he purposefully made himself forget everything about Chapter 18.
Which is?
The chapter on Wineric detection, dream surveillance.
Yeah.
He said he felt to know a thing was to put it in jeopardy. So if the very foundation of this institution is built on, fabricated truths and deliberate forgetting, what does that say about its integrity or the reality it tries to project? It makes you question, how many established truths in our world are built on similarly shaky ground.
Right. So Unwin's digging into Lamech's death and this phonograph record. It leads him deeper into the agency itself, specifically into its 3 archives, which are, like, rigidly compartmentalized. He finds clerks who only deal in mysteries and others only in solutions. These departments are so siloed that the chief clerk of mysteries, she doesn't even know what a detective is.
Yeah, Miss Eleanor Benjamin, she tells Owen straight up, her clerks don't know what a detective is. They don't need to. They get all the questions but none of the answers. It's wild.
From a practical view, how does an organization even work like that, keeping its own staff in the dark?
Well, it's chilling, isn't it? It shows it's not about efficiency. It's about control. Information control. It's a structure designed to keep employees, and probably the public too, ignorant of the bigger picture. It reveals an organization that values secrecy way more than shared knowledge. Makes you wonder how many institutions do that.
And speaking of secrets, that phonograph record, the unlogged Watcher class file, turns out it's a recording of Edward Lamech's dreams.
His actual dreams.
Yes, and in them, he reveals the existence of one-Eric detection dream surveillance. This technique, detailed in that suppressed Chapter 18 of the manual, was deliberately kept from most detectives, but who pressed the record. Unwin finds Miss Palsgrave, the chief clerk of records. Seems like a standard bureaucrat.
Okay.
Then he discovers her secret identity. She's also Hildegard, the giantess from Caligari's carnival.
No way. The carnival giantess is a high-ranking agency clerk.
And apparently she pressed the record.
Okay, that is a monumental aha moment for Unwin and for us. So the agency isn't just suppressing knowledge about dream surveillance, they're actively using it. Agents like Lamech extracting info from dreams but never revealing the true source of their knowledge. That's incredible. But Miss Palsgrave's double life, that's even bigger. It's the first real, tangible link between the rigid agency and the chaotic, fantastical world of the carnival.
Suggests they're intertwined at the highest levels.
Exactly. Not opposing forces, maybe 2 sides of the same coin.
So as Unwin digs deeper, the legendary cases he filed, the ones he admired, agency history itself starts to just unravel. He learns the shocking truth about Sivart's famous wins, the oldest murdered man in the museum.
The fake mummy, Caligari's body.
Right. A deception by the shadowy figure Enoch Hoffmann to hide the real mummy in his private collection. And Colonel Sherbrooke Baker's famous 3 deaths, also a setup.
Another trick.
An elaborate ruse orchestrated by Hoffmann again with help from Cleopatra Greenwood, apparently to test Hoffmann's son and reclaim an inheritance.
Wow. So Sivart, the great detective, was just played.
Repeatedly. It shatters the myth. It's not just a plot twist. It's showing how easily narratives, even from respected institutions, can be built to control perception.
Yeah, the sources say explicitly, Sivart had been tricked every time, and Unwin along with him, the whole city too. It makes you ask, how many solutions out there are just carefully staged fictions?
And Sivart's own notes hint he maybe suspected something.
Yeah, that cryptic note, I was wrong about her, about Cleopatra Greenwood, after the man who stole November 12th case. It suggests he started to realize he was a pawn.
Ah, yes, that infamous case, the man who stole November 12th. Sivart supposedly just remembered it was Tuesday when everyone else was fooled by Hoffmann's agents changing calendars everywhere.
Right, infiltrating newspapers, radio stations, civic departments, a massive operation just to skip a day.
Unwin realizes Sivart was probably just as tricked then, too. Just a convenient hero figure for the agency.
It completely rewrites the agency's history, doesn't it? Unwin reads Sivart's report on that case and finds it improbably thin. He's dizzied by the implication to file a case with no true solution.
So the cases Sivart solved were performance art.
At least partly, yeah. Orchestrated events to boost Sivart and the agency's image, create a public spectacle while Hoffmann pulled strings behind the scenes. It's pretty cynical.
And the conspiracy deepens. Unwin starts to grasp the full power of Enoch Hoffmann. He's not just a master of disguise, he's called a nefarious biloquist. Throws his voice, manipulates crowds.
And it infiltrates dreams. Turns the city's sleepwalkers into his own army of somnambulists.
Steal alarm clocks. It sounds absurd, but it's about disrupting order on a massive scale.
He even trapped Sivart in a terrifying dream version of the carnival.
Yeah.
And apparently tortured Caligari in a dream too. Wouldn't let him wake up.
This power over dreams, it's more than just fantasy, right? It feels like a metaphor.
Definitely. A metaphor for how information, media, collective fear can subtly shape our reality without us even knowing we're in someone else's dream.
But if Hoffmann is that powerful, Stealing days, controlling minds. How does the agency even stand a chance? Is there a balance?
That's the core tension. Hoffmann's spectral carnival in the city's dreams. It warps perception so deeply. It's about controlling collective consciousness until the illusion is reality. The agency, with all its rules, is just scrambling to keep some kind of control. But Hoffmann operates in a totally different realm. It really makes you wonder, what forces are shaping your reality right now? What unseen carnivals?
Okay, get this. There's a huge multi-layered dream sequence. Unwin dives into Lamech's dream, then Hoffmann's, then Sivart's. And there, deep down, he finally meets the woman in the plaid coat.
The original mystery.
Who is she?
She reveals herself as Penelope Greenwood, Sivart and Cleo's daughter.
Sivart's daughter.
Andy, his own assistant, Emily Doppel.
Emily is Penelope Greenwood, so she's been playing a role the whole time.
Apparently. A key player with her own agenda, actively trying to rekindle the old war between the agency and the carnival. Wow. That connects everything. The personal lives, the grand conspiracies, they're all tangled up. The sources confirm she worked in concert with Emily, meaning herself in disguise, toward the same end.
So she's not just an assistant.
No, she's a highly intelligent operative,
Yeah.
directly linked to everyone important. These layers of dreams, identities. It's a brilliant way to show how subjective reality and history are, how the mundane hides the profound.
And then the final layer gets peeled back. Unwin discovers Arthur, the quiet, seemingly harmless custodian.
Yeah? What about him?
He's actually the agency's overseer, the big boss.
The custodian is the overseer.
Yep. And Arthur admits he made a deal with Hoffmann years ago, used Sivart as a puppet for agency-approved cases, sacrificed real detection for a controlled story for public image. He confesses, "I've lied to you so much," admits lying to Lamech, to Sivart.
That is stunning.
Yeah.
Bureaucratic corruption at the absolute highest level. The guy meant to ensure order is actively manipulating the chaos.
Yeah.
And his motive.
He says he wanted to keep as much as I could hidden after Hoffmann first blackmailed him. Hoffmann used dream detection to learn agency secrets.
So Arthur's motive was damage control, covering up the agency's vulnerability.
Seems like it. Using Sivart as a tool for PR became the strategy. It shows how an organization can just lose its way, valuing appearance over integrity.
It's a desperate and ultimately, failing attempt to manage the unmanageable.
So the dream sequence climaxes. Arthur tries to kill Sivart in the dream, and we realize, in the real world, Arthur murdered Lamech.
So the overseer is the killer.
Right. Cleo Greenwood shoots Arthur. Detective Screed gets sent after Hoffmann, though Hoffmann apparently outsmarts him later. And Unwin finally understands his real role. He's not just a detective, he's part of this balance between order and disorder. He sees the manual itself isn't gospel truth, just another tool in this huge ongoing game.
Yeah, that final showdown, it really highlights that it's not simple good versus evil. Like Miss Palsgrave says, on the one side a kind of order, on the other a kind of disorder. We need them both. That's how it's always been.
Unnecessary tension.
Exactly. And Unwin's journey, he goes from being a clerk of dead facts to someone who gets the spirit to the whole enterprise. He understands the value of mystery itself. A world of only solutions would be, well, dead, stagnant. You need the questions.
So wrapping up this deep dive, we followed Charles Unwin from this meticulous, maybe slightly withdrawn clerk to a reluctant but surprisingly capable detective, navigating a city where dreams and reality just blur together, where truth is totally fluid. He learned the famous cases he filed were elaborate fakes. His heroes were pawns, or worse, active players in the conspiracy.
And now Unwin holds the complete manual of detection, including Chapter 18. He finally gets the whole picture. Dream surveillance, shifting identities, the real motives of Hoffmann, Sivart, Cleo, and Arthur, the overseer. He also carries the literal truth, knowing the oldest murdered man was Caligari. And he has his own alarm clock back, a small symbol, but potent.
And the carnival. Once this symbol of chaos and lies, Penelope or Emily rebuilds it. The sources say it's restored in full and traveling again.
Yeah, it becomes almost a symbol of reclaiming agency, maybe. Embracing mystery instead of just fearing it.
And Sivart and Cleo find some peace together, walking arm in arm.
A quiet resolution for them.
And Unwin, he's ready to write his own report, using I. Not just observing, but participating. He's accepted his new purpose.
Yeah, this deep dive really shows that the world operates on this razor's edge between order and mystery. The agency under Arthur let that balance tip way too far towards rigid control and fake certainty.
And now the challenge is
to restore the old balance, like Ms. Palsgrave said, a task Unwin seems to have inherited. embracing his role as a detective who actually values mystery just as much as solutions. It's like finally understanding that shadows aren't just absence of light, they're essential parts of the picture.
So, dear listener, if this is all true, and if Caligari's old motto holds, everything you see is as real as you are, then what does that really mean for your perception of reality? What parts of your own reality might you question? What mysteries are you maybe ready to embrace?
It's like Unwin learned, maybe the thing that truly frightens us about the carnival, about chaos, about the unknown in life, is the possibility that it will leave forever and never come back and take us with it when it goes. So what will your report contain? What mysteries will you file?